Geography topic, chapter 3, water resources. First of all, children, we will have an interactive session today because you should answer. So simply, I am speaking out, I am teaching, and no response. How will I know that whether you are listening or how will you understanding or not? So, children, let us start with one question: that what do you mean by water resources? Boys can answer. Water resources. Only boys. Water resources.
Ma'am, the resources, all
Yeah.
the water bodies.
Very good. Girls only. No, I want boys to answer, please. Okay. Then all water bodies good. Can you give some examples?
Oceans,
Very
seas.
good. Yes. Chinna. Yes. Oceans, seas, rivers, ponds, lakes, all water bodies, isn't it? So learning objectives now. We will be understanding some facts, figures, and availability of water of our blue planet, that is the Earth. Then water scarcity system, a need for water conservation and management methods, and multipurpose river projects, as well as integrated water resources management. Then about hydraulic structure in ancient India. Right from ancient India, we have got some of the other structures built for storing water or for irrigation purposes or for whatever might be the reason. You can't say that only in the modern period we came across all this technology. Since technology is improving, and through that only we are building up everything. It has been since ancient India that we'll be seeing that some of the examples also you'll come across. Then again, water dams and how do they help us in conserving and managing water. Then again, you know very well about multi-purpose projects also, as it is called, Jawaharlal Nehru called it as temples of modern India because they are very important for mankind. And different multi-purpose projects and rainwater harvesting and movements against water pollution in India and international water issues as well as water wars. So these many things you are going to come across in this chapter, water resources. And we are going to speak about water bodies especially, and how do they help us? Are we in need of that? Do we need them actually? Or without them, are we going to survive? And children, that what is the reason that we are in this blue planet called Earth? The Earth, the planet. Why are we in this planet only? Why can't we be in other planets also? Answer, children. Why are we in this planet only? Why can't we
Ma'am,
be?
can I?
Yeah. Yes.
Ma'am, because Earth is the only planet which has on which life exists.
Yes. Very good. So now, what is the content of water in our planet Earth? What is it? Here. You can see this picture. 3/4 I mean, that means 3 times among that fourth, 4 times of this water content we are having. That is 3/4 of water content you can see in our planet Earth. And only 1% is given to that land area. So that is the important thing. So this is the data, children, you should remember. That is why I told some facts and figures we are going to learn regarding this water, volume of water, whatever it is. So out of 100% of water, 96.5% is of total volume of world's water is saline. That is ocean, sea water as well. Seas and oceans all together containing saline. It is called as, it is about what percentage? 96.5%. That is more and more oceans and saline water only we are having. But fresh water is only about 2.5%. That is the river water. And 70% of fresh water occurs as, and how we are getting that is only that 96.5%, and 2.5% is with regard to 100%. Then again, coming back to how the fresh water we are securing is through ice and glaciers. That is about 70%. In this 2.5 itself, almost 70% we are getting from ice and glaciers. and 29% as groundwater. These are the figures just for you to know. This is, though this is not important, just it is enough that if you know the 3/4 of water content is there with regard to that water bodies. That is definitely whatever either the oceans and seas or the fresh waters or whatever the water body is concerned, you will be having only 3/4. The remaining 1/4 will be 1/4 will be the land area. So India gets 4% of the global precipitation, and land area of India is 2.4 of the world. So that is concerned. Apart from that world countries, how much, what is the rank of India? This is, then India holds 17% of the world's population. Then again, you know very well about water cycle. Can anybody talk about water cycle, please? Anybody? Tell about water cycle. It is also called as hydrological cycle.
Ma'am, can I?
Yes, yes.
Ma'am, so water cycle is a process where water is returned back to the earth. So the
Yes.
water, water from the water bodies and from the plants gets evaporated, and then it turns into water vapor, forming clouds. And when these clouds become so heavy that they cannot hold more droplets, it comes down as precipitation. It can be in the form of rain, hail, snow, etc.
Very good. So water cycle means this is the process. So this is also one of the source we are having, that is rainfall, isn't it? Renewable water resources is about 1,897 square kilometers per annum. It is given, this is the content of the textbook. So you should remember this also. And it was also told that it has been predicted that by 2025, most of the countries and most of the regions, even in India, I mean, even we have to join our India also. So most of the country and most of the parts of India also will become water scarcity. Even now we are facing that, no children, water problem. Even in 8th class we had this water resources, and but that time itself we used to discuss more a lot about water scarcity in Hyderabad city also, in our Telangana region also. So like that, by 2025 they have predicted that most parts of the country will be with absolute water scarcity. So what is meant by water scarcity, children? Today you told, now just now you told about water cycle, and anyone except Maisha,
Ma'am,
anybody can speak
ma'am.
about water scarcity. Yes,
Ma'am, the shortage of water.
yes, yes, shortage of water because we are experiencing, isn't it? Then regions having low rainfall. So what do you mean by water scarcity region? Means we have to speak now. These are the points. That means regions having low rainfall. No rainfall is not at all there. Only sometimes it will be raining. So that type of regions, and drought prone regions, the water content is not in that ground. And you know very well about Rajasthan, where people, women will be balancing many matkas. That means earthen pots, many on their head they will keep. And for storing and collecting water, they'll be traveling longer distances to get water. Then water availability due to season, because season and annual precipitation is also there regarding the topography of that particular region is also analyzing, and we are with experiencing through water scarcity. And over exploitation, some places wherever water is available in abundance but people are over exploiting. And excessive use of water, that is also overuse of water. Then unequal access to water among different social groups. That means people are not given, I mean, in some areas they are getting clean water and some areas contaminated water also. So it depends according to different, the status or the levels of living, whichever the areas. For example, slum areas, slum people might not get, we can't say that only, but still unequal access of water is also shown. That is, the quality of water is not there in some areas. Then growing population, you know very well, that is the important point. As and now our population growing, we are second rank in with regard to population, and we are not unable to meet out the growing population. People are unable to get this complete water, whatever it is, it's not available. Availability water is becoming less due to overpopulation. So that is also there. Then consequent greater demand for water for domestic as well as because for agricultural purposes, because overpopulated city we are becoming, and for this overpopulation, people should be given more and more crops should be grown, isn't it? For growing crops, for agricultural activities also, we are in need of water. That is also. So these all are becoming one of the causes for our water scarcity. Then again, in some you'll be seeing some advertisements also, children, that large scale farmers will be just because they'll be having nearly more and more acres, 100 acres, 50 acres, might be according to their richness or the money available to them. They'll be having more and more acres of land, and they will be constructing wells and tube wells in their particular farms. Because of that construct, because they have money, they can spend lots and lots of money, and they will be digging the wells and tube wells. By that, what is happening? That the groundwater level is decreasing. So finally, what will happen by these large farmers? Because of them, they have money. Wherever they are in need of water, they'll be just digging out the wells, and they'll be constructing tube wells, everything else. So this leads to falling down of groundwater levels. So adversely, it affects water availability, and if water is less, the people cannot in that particular area cannot grow any crops. So it leads finally to food security of the people. That security, the government will should take steps to give food security to the people. So but still water is not available. What will government do? How far, how many measures and how many provisions the government also can take? That is why they are creating awareness and conservation of water among the or among the public. Then again, post-independent India, after independence, we have been witnessing all this industrialization and urbanization. This also became one of the important cause for our water scarcity. And multinational companies have been started in our country. And these because of this, what, and also we are exerting pressure and on existing freshwater resources also, because here in more and more population and in enough fresh water. Now we have got technology, and we are just turning out that saline water into fresh water also. But before and all, after we got our independence, we are not that much technologically improved a nation, isn't it? So at that time, we have to suffer a lot, and all the stress have been on freshwater resources also. Then again, industries, as I told, industrialization and urbanization happened. Many industries have been started, because economically also we should come up in life through our we should be in the development of our nation in among the world countries. And industries have been started, and they started using heavy use of water. They became the heavy users of water, because they to run their missions, they are in need of hydel power. To utilize that, to generate electricity through that is called hydroelectricity, they are in need of water, and that again, that energy is put forward to run the machineries. So that is also, and they are running more and more machineries. How far they are running, that much energy is needed. They need that more and more of electricity and power energy, and that is also making them that is also one of the cause for us, because utilization is more over here than, as I told, power to run their industries. So these also have been why some of the regions are suffering with water scarcities. And again, urban cities and towns, usage of water, it became an aggravated problem. And as I told you, some regions are getting bad quality of water also, contaminated water, polluted water, and it has been polluted by human beings only as far as possible. They are by either by domestic or household waste. They are sending out to the water, and even industrial waste. And in India, small rivers. We have got many rivers, but still more than 10,360 rivers, either big or small, we have got, I mean, in India. But still, some small rivers are turning out into toxic streams because of this pollution, because they are getting polluted. Now, a small quiz for you. So far, whatever has been taught, just children give answers. Answers are there anyway, but still, next quiz you will not be having answers. So, dash of the Earth's surface is covered with water. Let us discuss now. Instead of me asking questions and you thinking over, we will just discuss. We will learn. So, dash of the Earth's surface is covered with water.
Ma'am,
How much?
3/4.
Ma'am, 3/4.
Yes, yes.
Fourths.
Yeah. Any two reasons of water scarcity?
Pollution.
Yes.
Overexploitation.
Yes. Excessive use also will come. Okay. Then any other thing apart from these two?
Urbanization.
Yeah. Then?
Use in industries.
Okay. Then what is the important impact of large scale farmers having their own wells and bore wells in their farm? What will happen? I told you just now, rich farmers, they have money, they will be just digging out their particular farms. And what will happen if they're, I mean, since
Groundwater will
And the
decrease.
groundwater
Groundwater
level
level will
will
decrease.
decrease.
yes, groundwater level will decrease, and other we have to suffer. We being in the part of this nation or with part of that region, even the people who are not involved in that particular issues also have to suffer a lot. Is water a renewable resource, children?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes.
Yes,
Now,
ma'am.
yes. Now again, we'll furthermore discuss about reasons for water scarcity in India. So as I told, the top growers of agricultural produce, farmers, many farmers. Since India is an agricultural land, since India consists of many different types of soil systems, and those soils are that availability of that type of different varieties of soils are giving us to produce more and more different varieties of crops. So for that sake, consumption of water is an important, and irrigation facilities also have been done. Because of this overuse of for agricultural produce, and diverting that water for irrigation purposes is also leading to water scarcity in India. Then rapid construction of and that is we are just some due to some mechanism, the groundwater recharging mechanisms as well as the dams, construction of dams is also one of the cause for water scarcity, as well as sewage and wastewater drainage. Some people are just letting out, not some people, we can't blame anybody, it happens sometimes. Sewage and wastewater is also drained into the water bodies. That is also happening. And release of chemicals and effluents into rivers, streams, and ponds and by factories and from households. We can't blame only industrialists or factory people. Even the households, some people are also just because of they don't have that much awareness or knowledge. They just even in our locality also we can see they won't have the drainage facility, but they will be just putting out to whatever the that main street drainage, so that they will give connection illegally also. That means we should take legally. That is, it should happen by the knowledge of whatever the particular authorities are there. For example, in Hyderabad, we have got municipal corporation. So through municipalities, we have to take permission and do all such works. So illegal like this, nearby the people who are residing near the river areas, river valleys, these people are also doing such things. So that is also contaminating the water. So the need of the hour, that means to conserve water. You know that a drop of water, we should save a drop of water also, and then you will be able to save a life. To safeguard ourselves from health hazards, isn't it? Water is very important. We should, that is, they'll say, no, 8 glasses of water, drinking 8 glasses of water is also important. If you go to doctor and when you are becoming some during summer, you will realize that, isn't it? So it is very important. Water is very important for the existence of our life. That, and to ensure food security, that is very important, that farmers will not be able to cultivate anything and food security will not be given to the people. Then again, to prevent degradation of our national ecosystem, then to ensure continuation of livelihoods and productive activities. That I told very well, that we should we will not survive without water. If we are just doing all such things, all our water, river valleys are becoming contaminated. And from where do we get water? And nowadays, due to technology, we are turning out the saline water into the fresh water. But still, how far we are going to that also, that utilization also will become more and more in the coming years due to growing population. In that also, we might lag behind, isn't it? So it is better to conserve. It is better to preserve or safeguard. All these things are very important as per our water resources are concerned. So, you know, Ganga, very important river. It is the largest river in India. And it is on the cities of Varanasi and Patna, it flows. And you know, many people, Varanasi means you will immediately understand Kasi. And the people, the Hindus go for their holy dip every year like that. It is important in there during their lifetime they should go. But there they have contaminated that particular river especially. And government is taking steps. See, you can see river Ganga, it is called as the fifth most polluted river in the world. And reasons for pollution of Ganga is that human waste, industrial effluents, and religious ceremonies. And people say that dead bodies will be floating in that river Ganga, because people will go there unknowingly. They will be and they will I mean something might happen. Some of the other problems occur, and nobody is there to cremate that bodies. Like that things also happens. People say that. And next, some movements against water pollution in India. So these three movements have been there still now. Narmada Bachao Andolan and Save Ganga movement and Tehri Dam. That is, people are revolting or reacting against the government to take some steps not to pollute the rivers, because rivers are very important to us. Since you know, children, right from your earlier, childhood classes, you have learned Indus Valley civilization. We know how about Indus Valley civilization. Why we are speaking only River Valley civilizations? And even 2 years back also, rally for rivers happened because of this polluting the river waters. So rally for rivers are also they have took up, and many movements started that they were against speaking about the water pollution in India. That also very important. That knowledge also we should create, inculcate in us, that among us, that we should not pollute the water, not only river water, any water, so that we should have that much awareness. And in future years, future generations also should need this. Though we say that water is a renewable resource, but still we should keep it as an without any contamination. Then in the following conditions are being continued. That means I told you, industrial water disposal and excessive use of chemical fertilizers, uses of chemical pesticides. These all because the people who are undergoing that agricultural activities, those people, since suppose the rivers are nearby, these many things also are just the water is getting contaminated. The river water is getting contaminated by all these wastes and disposals. Then rapid urbanization, I told again the same points are. We have to discuss more and more about the same points because they are very important. Then only we can protect our water bodies, as well as water scarcity will not be seen in any of the regions. Overpopulation and it leads finally to global warming also, and still we are facing water scarcity. Again same, growing population, expanded irrigation, because they say that food security is given to people, but without water, without having the polluting the rivers, or without taking any care of our water facilities or water bodies, then again they say food security should be given. For that sake, what is happening, expanded irrigation system is needed for giving food security to the people, because more and more irrigation methods should be, because India is a monsoon rainfall. We are dependent on monsoonal rainfalls. So for that sake, we can't always rely upon rainfalls. So for that sake, we are also expanding our irrigation facilities. So intensive industrialization and urbanization is also happening, and hydroelectric power generation is also happening. That is anyway, it's for our good only. But still, India has, just now I told, 10,360 small and big rivers. And you know about Mawsynram is the wettest place in the world. And water is sufficiently available, but the quality, they are differing. And reasons for the bad quality of water. Why we are saying that the water is not of good quality, it is of bad quality? Because you know very well that chemical pesticides and fertilizers are also dumped over there. That means through factory effluents as well as industrial effluents, industrial waste and domestic waste, they are just dipping into the water. They are not concerned whether it is the freshwater lake or a freshwater river or whatever it is. Just they want their garbages to be thrown out. In these way they are throwing people. That is only lack of knowledge and lack of awareness about water. Then why water resources is needed to be conserved? Yes, for to ensure our healthy life, to have best food security, as well as continuation of livelihoods. Otherwise, we will not be able to stay in this planet Earth at all. We have to move out from this planet, because if water, for water sake only, we have been here. If water itself is contaminated, and how for our livelihoods will be here, we will not be alive also. To prevent degradation of our ecosystem. So these are that's why we need. And some of the content given by our textbook is that they have given right from ancient India, I told you. It is not an easy job to construct a dam or to continue with the multi-purpose projects. Even government have to spend lots and lots of funds. That is why central government is in charge of each of our country. So we will come out. The Anicut, Anicut means the dam has been constructed in Kallanai. See, it has been constructed in the 2nd century AD. That means during the Chola period. So you have learnt in ancient period, these are the South Indian kingdoms, Cholas, Cheras and Pandyas. And it has been this particular river Kallanai, this dam has been constructed on the river Kaveri. That's why it came to be, the name has been given as Kallanai, and it was constructed by Karikala Chola in the 2nd century. And it is one of the oldest water regulator structures in the world, which is still in use. So you can't blame, you can't say that history is a myth. History is just like that. they are just exaggerating the points. No, it is still, we can see it now also, the particular dam, and people are using it. So quiz, who built Grand Kallanai River?
King Kalikala.
The Cho-
Karikala Chola. He belongs to which
Karikala
dynasty?
Chola.
Yeah, he belongs to
The
which
Chola-
dynasty?
Chola
Chola
dynasty.
Dynasty.
Yeah, why should we conserve water?
To ensure a healthy life,
Yes,
to maintain food security,
yes. Anybody else? Only Maisha should answer. Nobody else will answer. Boys, at least come out. Answer, please. Sarvajit is not there. Karun, Farhan, Vivek, Ubaid. Tell me again, who built Grand Kallanai River? Come on, Grand Kallanai River. Why should we conserve water?
Ma'am, to
Respond.
preserve our environment.
Yes. Then Kallanai River. I want the name. Who built Kallanai River? Because it is in your content is given as far as to prove that our how the dams have been constructed since our ancient and medieval times also. Okay. Then and again Sringaverapura water harvesting system. See, look how nice it is. Now technology has improved a lot. In ancient period itself, in the 1st century BC, it is actually done at Allahabad in UP. See, a sophisticated water harvesting system built in the 1st century BC. How nice, you see, children. Even today, multi-purpose projects also we are seeing, rainwater harvesting system also we are seeing in this level. So in the 1st century itself, our people are aware of this particular thing. And now Nagarjuna Sagar Dam. Children, it is constructed on which river? Upon which river, please? Can you?
Ma'am, I think River Krishna.
Yes, good. Then next. And Bhopal Lake. It is in Madhya Pradesh. We will have that as content. It is a content. It is a source of drinking water of the city. See, built between 1005 to 10,055 AD by a Malwa. That is a Malwa king. His period was from that period till this. This construction of this Bhopal Lake has been seen in this period, and it is a freshwater lake. Then again, house khas. That means house means water tank, and khas means royal. That means royal water tank. It is in Delhi. That is also, and it was built by Alauddin Khilji in medieval period, and his period was from 1296 to 1316 to supply water for the inhabitants of Siri Fort. So, see, water. Not only today's government, right from the ancient period, the kings have taken steps to provide or conserve water, or to, because it is their basic necessity, that giving the basic amenity or basic facility to be given to the citizens or to the public or to the people, common people. So it was built for the people, for the inhabitants of Siri Fort. This house khas has been constructed. And what is the meaning of house khas? Just now I told. HAUZ means what? And khas means what? Tell.
ma'am, house
Ma'am?
means royal,
Ah,
and
And khas means
tank.
water tank.
Water.
is it so that? House means royal, you said. House means water tank.
And khas means royal.
Ah.
Yeah, okay.
Oh.
Okay. So next, passing on to another one, another important. See, Hausi Shamshi built by Iltutmish at Mehroli. That means Iltutmish, he belongs to slave dynasty during Delhi Sultanate's period. Then, how do dams help us in conserving and managing water? So dams were traditionally built to impound rivers and rainwater that could be used later to irrigate agricultural areas. So for irrigation facilities only dams have been constructed for that sake. So what are the uses of dams, children? For irrigation and generating electricity, and domestic and industrial uses, because since it is river water, that the supply will be done through channels for agricultural purposes, as well as people through water tanks to domestic, I mean to houses nearby, like that. So one or the other, these are the uses of dams. And again, it will control flood. If due to heavy rainfall, more and more water is that flooding out of the river, then the control of that water will be done by this dam. And recreation, it has become some spot, recreation spot nowadays. People will go and visit because lovely breeze will be coming and they'll be sitting like that. It is one of the recreation point also. And inland navigation and internal trade also will happen. And again, fish breeding occupation also can be continued by this facility of dams. These are the uses of dams. So the biggest dam in India, so that is the Tehri on Bhagirathi River. Bhagirathi River is called Tehri Dam. It is one of the biggest dam in India. Then the highest dam in India is Bakra Nangal Dam on Sutlej River. What do you mean by Sutlej? Do you remember anything else? If I say Sutlej River, it is tributary of which river, children?
Indus.
Very good. So only one river is the tributary. How many tributaries are there for Indus River?
It is Chenab, Jhelum, Ravi, Beas, and Satluj.
Very good. So these many that is just now I told you highest dam in India, that is Bakra Nangal Dam. It is constructed on Sutlej River. These all are general knowledge questions, children. It is very important for you. If you write any government examinations, it will be helpful. They will ask this particular question. The longest dam in India, that is Hirakud Dam, is constructed on which river? Mahanadi River. So it is the longest dam. So before we learned, highest dam is Bakra Nangal Dam and biggest dam is Tehri Dam and longest dam is Hirakud Dam on Mahanadi River. And uses of dams. So I told you, because before itself we discussed. Let us see with pictures: irrigation, water supply, electricity, generating electricity, as well as flood control. See how they are controlling flood. That water is sent to the nearby channels or canals that will be, and that will be, the overflow of water will be minimized. Then again, consequences when a dam is built. So it is for regulating and damming of rivers, affect their natural flow. You know, what are the, these might be called as a demerit also, a disadvantage. Because of natural flow is not happening, the flow will become the poor sediment flow and it will be excessive sedimentation. It will cause either poor sedimentation flow or excessive, because we are controlling the flow of water. Then what is happening at the bottom, all the rockier streams will be there because of flowing of water. All the whatever that particular substances will move out, and it will not be any, it can't do any harm to aquatic living organisms inside water. But now, because of the construction of dams, the flow is stopped and the rockier streams are, the rockier sedimentation settling down, and it is not good for aquatic lives. And it makes it difficult for aquatic fauna to migrate, especially for spawning, isn't it? Even the living or the the aquatic organisms also cannot move from any other places, because the connection will be there, isn't it? Water bodies. So when we are constructing these dams, it will be that stop will be there. That means it can't move anywhere else, it is called. Now, local people often have to give up their lands, because the construction of dams, government will give some compensation, because that particular area they will select. Mostly they'll select forest areas, but sometimes even the people who are residing nearby have to give up their lands and they will be given some compensation. And again, it is floods. Triggers floods also. Then, why multi-purpose projects and large dams have come under great controversy? Because they'll affect natural flow, causing poor sedimentation. Just now I have discussed, isn't it, children? And all at the bottom, the excessive sedimentation will be settling down, and it is causing it will not be able to control the aquatic fauna, as well as and again it is controlling migration of aquatic fauna, and then submergence of the existing vegetation. Then why multi-purpose projects and large dams have come under great controversy? It leads to large-scale displacement of local. Just now I told, we have come across those points, and it destroys habitat of millions of flora and fauna, and it leads the degradation of soil due to continuous irrigation. Yes. So more and more water is taken for irrigation facilities, and even soil fertility also might be running under loss. Actually, river valleys, we used to say alluvial deposits, alluvium, Khadar, Bangar, older alluvium, newer alluvium we used to have. And these particular alluvial deposits are just what will happen to that particular soil, the ingredient, that particular purpose of that particular fertility of that soil will be decreased also, because of this movement, moving from or otherwise dumping, going down into that particular by this construction of dams. And who are the beneficiaries of multi-purpose projects? Construction of dams will be helpful to only to these people, like landowners, like large farmers, because they will supply of water will be there for them, and industrialists, because for industrialist people they are in need of hydroelectricity, and that will be done. Generation of electricity will be done by this dams, and few urban centers. This because urban centers will be there as the generation of power projects will be there, and for that employment opportunities will be given over there. So many people will migrate from rural areas, and here urban centers will develop. Then interstate water disputes. We have got many water disputes, children, with regard to Kaveri River. Karnataka and Tamil Nadu states are fighting still. A dispute is there, and the case is filed also. Then disputes have it is taken care by Supreme Court, because only Supreme Court is the highest authority of judiciary to take care of the disputes among the states, and either between with the union government or the some states, or between the states. Then disputes have been started since 1870 between princely state of Mysore and Madras Presidency. Then this Kaveri issue is there still. So Krishna River water dispute is between Karnataka, Andhra Pradesh, and Maharashtra. Our both CMs of Andhra Pradesh and Telangana are discussing I mean, sometimes in the assemblies also regarding this Krishna River water, because Hyderabad city, I mean, Telangana region is running down with water scarcity. Then Maharashtra and these all places, because of all these places, we have got the Krishna River issue, because it flows through these three states. And again, Yamuna, interstate water disputes. Yamuna River, that is among UP, Haryana, and Delhi. And again, Godavari River, it is among Maharashtra and AP, Karnataka, Madhya Pradesh, Odisha, and Chhattisgarh. So whichever the rivers are nearby, that river flows, those all states are under disputes, fighting for each other, that the waterlet outlet should be more or less, whatever. Might be the disputes are there still. And international water disputes with India and Pakistan with regard to Indus River, because we made partition after after independence. So that partition, in that partition, some disputes are arising still between India and Pakistan. Then Kosi River water disputes between India and Nepal, and Brahmaputra between China, India and China. So river interlinking projects in India. So Himalayan rivers, the river system is divided into two types. One is the Himalayan river, and the other one is the peninsular rivers. So how they have linked with that water basins, that is construction of these dams are also have been here. That with both the types of river systems, that is the map showing that how the link is there between the states. Then what river interlinking projects in India. Aim of river linking projects, that is transfer of water from surplus to water deficit areas. That is the disadvantages. Huge investment is needed for infrastructure. That is why only government of India should take steps. No, a private individual or privatization will help us with these projects, and it leads to order of physical settings, and it leads to causes of natural disasters, causes the irreparable damage of the ecosystem and habitat destruction. I told you just people have to leave the areas, and even the water was, that is we have got water was with regard to sea here. Some examples, the state is on water clash. 50 violent incidents have already been reported this month. That is the riots happening here in Madhya Pradesh. Water tankers, public taps are Madhya Pradesh riot spots, and Jeevan, Malavia. It is one incident, children. It is not necessary for you, but still, see, water wars between the states. The CMs are fighting with each other regarding the water, the river waters. Then save water. The world is in your hands if you save water only. Otherwise, we have to leave this planet. That means we won't be in this planet. We will not be able to survive anywhere else if we are not able to survive in this particular water planet. Then rainwater harvesting. There are many important types of rainwater harvesting according to the localities or the places. See, rainwater harvesting is a technology used for collecting and storing rainwater. You know, even in our Telangana region, because we are suffering with the water scarcity, our municipalities have taken steps to each and every house they came, and this rainwater harvesting system have been constructed by them, so that we will whatever the outlet of our water we are using, that water will be going there, and rainwater also will be falling directly through that, and that nearby our that particular motor facility or tube wells or whatever the wells we have, bore wells we have, near that that water will be just to regenerate the water system. So rainwater harvesting system is also there constructed, and this has become one of the important types in many of the areas. So we'll see now that what type of harvestings are done in different areas. For example, hill and mountainous regions, they will just build diversion channels like gulls and culls, that is in western Himalayas. And Rajasthan rooftop rainwater harvesting is done. That is, if rainwater is that rain flows on the terraces of the houses, or that water is directly, the pipe connection is given so that one tank will be fixed anywhere else, and that water will be just accumulated in that particular tank, and whenever the people are in need, they will be utilizing it. And underground water tankers, tankas, are also dug in Rajasthan especially, so that that water will be just stored over there, and whenever the water scarcity or when people are in need of water, they will make use of that water. Then in Bengal, you have got inundation channels have been dug to irrigate the fields, and arid and semi-arid regions also, agricultural fields were also converted into rain-fed storage systems. So these all, so Khadins and Jaisalmer, Johats and other parts of Rajasthan. Examples, these are the types. We are not discussing more because I will tell you. And next, recap. Meaning of water resource. We have discussed so far about water scarcity and water conservation and water management, pros and cons of the construction of dams and multipurpose river valley projects, and uses of dams and water wars, and especially with that how the polluted water that people fighting for not to pollute the rivers, river rally for the rivers, these all things. So any doubts, children?
No, ma'am.
And one more thing, this is also, this water resources lesson is also for internal assessment only. We don't have for annual exam. So that is because that is very important for us to make another project in this lesson also, because marks should be submitted to the board. Clear, children? So
Yes,
don't think
Yes,
it is
ma'am.
easy. When it is given by board to us, that's the syllabus, we have to complete everything. So this also, forest and wildlife resources as well as water resources is also for internal assessment. So you have to do the project work on this, see the learning objectives or whatever the recap of this, or take the textbook, the headings you take, and make a project with good information and stick good pictures. Let us have this also as a project work. Clear, children? You need not write these questions in the notebooks. This and forest and wildlife resources questions need not be written. But anyway, I have sent the worksheets also, I think. I'll be sending. I'll be sending one. I think sectors of Indian economy worksheets have sent, children. Did you learn them? Try to learn, because as soon as you come, CYPs or test will be conducted, children. Okay? Don't
Okay,
think
ma'am.
now only you have got ample of time. Per day, one worksheet, if you learn also, it will be very useful. So don't waste time. Just allot a half an hour at least. If you are feeling bored, to learn social science, just allot half an hour for it and learn some worksheets. We have sent worksheets as well as answer keys, and I'll be sending the other lessons also, whatever I have completed so far, that worksheets also you'll be getting through a Genie, and you have to learn them, children. Okay? Any more doubts, please? Is it clear?
Yes,
The topic is clear? Yes.
ma'am.
Yes. With regard to that content of the chapter, as well as the different aspects of as far as how we can improve or increase our knowledge, that type of things also are very important in this lesson. You can't say that it is for internal assessment, you can't read it. That's why project work is given. You should know what is what, and this is very important lesson. As per we are suffering a lot without water nowadays, and you should understand this, children. It is very important for you to learn. Give reading to the lesson again, and try to write one summary like in your books, notebooks. As I told you, we'll be having one separate book for all our tests, isn't it? So you should write without seeing. With seeing, you write one time. By seeing the textbook, note down the points, some important points, and after that, after some time or after one day, you sit together, learn that whatever you have written those points, and again without seeing, try to write, children. It will help you a lot, because social science, you think it is a great subject, but still when you give reading, you will understand a lot. You will have the interlink of the subjects. Many points will be interlinked together and you will understand the live examples also. You will be understanding a lot by reading the lessons. Okay. Try to do this. By seeing the textbook, you write the points and close the textbook and take one day time. Read that whatever points you have written. The next day you write without seeing. It will help us like an exit card. You can write an activity on the top. You write as an activity or exit card, like that you write, so that it will be helpful. We'll give you marks, children. Okay. We'll calculate all together and we'll be giving marks. And after you come, we will test your knowledge and give you marks. Okay. Anything? Any more doubts?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am.
It is easy, no? Easy topics.
Yes,
Yes, ma'am.
You're understanding a lot?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
This is very nice because in class you will make too much of noise, isn't it? And here without no noise, you have to listen, isn't it? And PPTs are shown with colorful pictures like small kids, attractive pictures. You will be understanding by seeing that you'll recollect some interest, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Then what else, children? You should learn and submitted. I'm telling you again and again. Please, everybody, try to send me pics if you have completed. Everybody, whole class should submit. And you can't think that the time is there, 1 month the time or 1.5 month time is there, we'll submit after going to school or let us see. Means children, you will not have time. You have come to 10th grade. We have to complete all our revisions, everything. So you better learn, understand now itself these two internal topics as well as the other topics also which I have completed. Children, social science is a vast subject and you have got many lessons. Though CBSE board deleted some lessons, but still we have got with many lessons. And you have to understand, if you want to score 100 on 100, then try to learn like this. Okay, full marks if you want to score, learn line by line. It will help you a lot because you don't know from textbook from which part the board will ask you questions. So that you have ample of time. Utilize this time, children. Don't waste your time. I am asking you only 1 hour allot for social science. Okay, clear?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you, children. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you,
Okay,
ma'am.
bye. Bye. Thank you.